Hello everyone, welcome to Genshin 3.4, and today we're taking a look at Yaoyao, which is the latest 4-star character to be added to the roster alongside Alahizam. These are both the brand new characters that are coming in 3.4, and I'm going to do things a little bit differently than most YouTubers out there. I already see a lot of people are posting about the new guy. Well, I'm going to post about Yaoyao first. So we're going to take a look at everything from her weapons to her artifacts, constellations, talents, and of course we're going to try her out in the character trial. Let's start with the talents. Alright, we got the normal attack, toss and turn spear. We did see a little bit of Yaoyao's gameplay in the live program earlier. We know from the devs that her normal attacks aren't really going to be that great, and as we can see here, nothing too crazy. Very low multipliers on her damage, and that's kind of to be expected, so nothing different there. And now we move on to her skill, which is called the Raffness Sky Cluster. Calls upon the Yugui, sorry, throwing mode, a special device created by a certain adeptus to help Yaoyao solve her problems. The skill will be used differently in holding mode. If you hold it, you enter in aiming mode, so you can adjust your throwing direction. Throwing mode throws out the white jade radishes that will explode upon hitting characters or opponents, dealing Dendro damage to opponents within a certain AoE, and healing characters within that same AoE based on Yaoyao's max HP. If a radish does not hit either an opponent or a character, the radish will remain where it is and explode on contact with a character or opponent, or will explode after its duration expires. The throwing mode will choose its radish throw targets. If all nearby characters have more than 70% HP remaining, then it will throw a radish at a nearby opponent. If below 70%, then it will throw it at the character with the lowest HP percentage remaining. If no opponents exist nearby, you will then throw a white jade radishes at characters if they all have more than 70% HP and less than 100% HP remaining. Otherwise, it will throw radishes into the area at random. Wow, that's a lot of wording. Okay, let's look at the attributes. Wowie wow, that is very, very little damage. This is level 8 and it's at 47.9% damage multiplier. And then we see the healing is going to be also quite little, but it has the addition of being scaled with your max HP, plus a flat 310, which is also kind of low. And then the throw mode duration is 10 seconds, so they'll be throwing radishes for 10 seconds. And the white jade radish duration is 5. Oh, is this duration, does that mean the like after it can't find a person to heal or an opponent in the area? Is that what that means? And then 15-second cooldown. That's not too bad, I guess. Next up, we have her elemental burst, which is called Moon Jade Descent at the enjoyment of a certain adeptus. The Yugui's full potential can be unleashed in an emergency, dealing Dendro damage to nearby opponents and entering, in some sense, unsurpassed adeptal legacy state. What does that mean? Adeptal legacy. White jade radishes generated will be changed to heal and deal damage according to this skill. Explosions will heal all nearby party members, and the Dendro damage that they deal will be viewed as elemental burst damage instead. This summons the Yugui jumping mode at intervals until their limit has been reached. The behavior of this version of the Yugi is the same as the throwing mode in the elemental skill Raffness Sky Cluster. A maximum of 3 jumping mode can exist. 3 Yugi in jumping mode can exist at any one time. She also gets a nice movement speed bonus of 15%, and she will gain an increased Dendro resistance. Again, skill damage multiplier, very minimal. And then we see the Adeptal Legacy White Jade Radish damage is 115.5%. The healing is, again, a little bit higher scaling when used with your skill. And then you get a Dendro resistance of 50%. This lasts for 5 seconds, has a cooldown of 20. Cost 80. Oof. All right, she's definitely going to be needing HP so far and energy recharge on her substats and main stats. Let's look at some more passive talents here. We have Star Scatter. While affected by the Adeptal Legacy state caused by the Moon Jade Descent, Yaoyao will constantly throw white jade radishes at nearby opponents while she is sprinting, jumping, or running. She can throw one white jade radish this way every 0.6 seconds. The next one is In Other Shoes. When white jade radishes explode, active characters within their AoE will regain HP every 1 second based on 0.8% of Yaoyao's max HP. This effect lasts for 5 seconds. So this is some more additional healing on top of the heal you already get from the explosion. Okay. And the last one is Tailing on Tiptoes. This we already know is when you are trying to go near crystal flies, they will not fly away. But keep in mind, for those that aren't aware, if you're going for a group of crystal flies, as soon as you grab the first one, then all of the crystal flies in the area will start to fly away as normal. So you get basically one free crystal fly before they all start flying away. Okay, she seems pretty... Obviously, damage isn't going to be her strong suit, and healing is... Healing and Dendro applications seem to be her uses. And I see you going for HP %, energy recharge, and possibly elemental mastery if you want to go for a little bit more damage that way. But let's look at the weapon, and she is given the Favonius Lance, very classic support weapon here. So for those that aren't familiar with the weapon, we'll just go over it real quick. It does give you some energy recharge as a substat, and when you deal a crit, you will generate additional particles. So when you're using this weapon on anybody, it is advised to at least give them, like, a crit circlet is usually recommended because it's just enough to proc this weapon effect constantly whenever you crit. And when you get this to refinement 5, this will be happening all the time. Next up, let's look at her artifacts. So they gave her the Deepwood Memories, which makes sense because this is more of a support set. So you just want to give it to the person that's doing the Dendro damage so they can apply that minus 30% Dendro resistance debuff to your enemies, which is great. And with that being said, let's try out in battle. We are given Zhongling and Lisa as teammates. So here's her basic attacks. And the charge attack. Charge attack is very much the same. Normal attacks always look nice, but they will not be where you're doing your damage or anything really. Alright. Let's try the skill. We're gonna try the skill and then the burst. So we can see a lot of Dendro is applied. Oops. Lots of Dendro is applied there. And I'm trying the passive talent where you can just summon more of these guys as you run. And we already have the max, so we can just do this. That's what happens when you hold it. You just get to choose where you throw these guys. It's really hard to test the healing. Let's try to get hit a little bit. Okay, we're gonna toss this out. That's not bad. It's not a lot, but it happens frequently. So we're gonna do, we're gonna take a look-see at the constellations, and I'm just gonna share my 2 cents on the character. Alright, C1. We have Adeptus Tutelage. When a white jade radishes explode, active characters within their AoE will gain 15% Dendro damage bonus for 8 seconds, and have 15 stamina restored to them. This form of stamina regeneration, or restoration, excuse me, can only be triggered every 5 seconds. Wow, that's actually pretty neat. I don't believe we actually have a character that restores stamina in the game yet, and now we do. That can be very useful for characters that have to rely a lot on charge attacks to do damage. And the Dendro bonus is nice for her as well. And well, if you plan to use her with another Dendro main DPS, then this is also a solid, little damage boost, which is nice. C2, Innocent. While affected by the Adeptal Legacy state caused by the Moon Jade Descent, if a white Jade Radish explosion hits opponents, 3 energy will be restored to Yaoyao. This form of energy regeneration can occur every occur once every 0.8 seconds. So when you burst, you basically get free energy while you're hitting opponents. So this is going to help you reduce those energy recharge needs on your artifacts, which is, again, nice. 3 and 5, we're going to know increase the skill and burst respectively. And so let's take a look at C4. Whoops, this isn't it. Winsome C4. After using Raffness Sky Cluster or Moonjade Descent, so skill or burst, Yaoyao's elemental mastery will be increased based on 0.3 of her max HP for 8 seconds. This maximum elemental mastery she can gain this way is 120. It's actually kind of a shame that they put a cap because, you know, her damage is already kind of low already, so I don't think you're gonna see her do crazy numbers if this wasn't capped. But okay, you know, this is nice because, again, it gives you extra stats that you wouldn't have otherwise, because you're most likely going to be investing in HP, right, for the heals and energy recharge. So this helps you not lose damage a bit when you're applying Dendro or doing those Dendro reactions. And the last one is Beneficent. For every 2 white jade radishes in her elemental skill she throws out, the next throw will release a mega radish that will have a larger AoE than the standard white jade radish, and have the following effects upon exploding. They will deal AoE damage based on 75%. Why is it attack? Why is that based off her attack and not her HP? Hoyoverse, that's disappointing. That's not going to be that great because you're not building attack on Yaoyao. Restores HP for the active character based on 7.5% of Yaoyao's max HP. So you do it for the heals, but you won't do it for the damage, or at least elemental mastery, if anything. But throwing mode can throw out a maximum of 2 mega radishes. Oh, that's actually really nice. I always get disappointed with this kind of stuff because Hoyoverse is clearly just trying to limit her Dendro applicator and healer, and anytime she's given some damage, it's very limited. Like, we can get some elemental mastery, but not that much. And here it's based off her attack, which you're not building for. All right, so that's gonna do it for my first impressions of Yaoyao. I think she is just a very standard, very easy to use healer. I like the bunnies throwing the radishes. It's really cute. Obviously not going to be anything crazy or OP, at least from initially looking at her kit. It's a great way of setting up Dendro reactions, so if you are doing some Hyper Bloom stuff, Aggravate stuff, she will be a solid option for you. And especially if you like having you just like having a healer in your team, because certain teams like the Kaching Aggravate comp doesn't have a healer. Like, it uses Kaching, Kazuha, Nahida, and like Fischl. So if you wanted to replace, again, your damage is obviously going to go down, but you could replace Nahida with the healer, so that you can, you don't have to worry about dying or anything like that. But yeah, she's also a good way for, free to play or low spenders that weren't able to get or build several of the earlier Dendro units that came out in previous updates, and this is your chance to try out those teams. Obviously, like I said, it's going to be like a weaker version of said teams, but I'm sure it'll perform fine without even having tested it myself. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. What do you guys think about Yaoyao? For those of you that have tried her, are you going to pull for her? Let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like the content, and I'll see you in the next video.